Already, man. What it do, man? It's the dynamic duo. You already know who it is, man. OG Ron C with my big brother Michael Watts, man. You know what I'm talking about? One time for Hype Magazine, doing it like this here, man. Much love. At the Grammys party right now, 2015. What's up, Watts?
Man, out here feeling good, man. Happy to be on the Hype Magazine family, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you check out my articles that I write out here representing the Southern culture, man. But right now, we out here South by Southwest with the whole Grammy Association. We out here with my homie Paul Wall. My dog OG Ron C is hosting. I'm gonna be on the table, so we're gonna take it way back the classic way, representing Texas to the fullest, man. So for the meanwhile, make sure you stay tuned right here to Hype Magazine.
Thank you so much. Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another live session with the Hype Magazine. I am your editor-in-chief, Jerry Doby, and this evening, I've got an American hero, Navy vet, musical genius, soulful artist by the name of Mista Pete. First of all, thank you for your service to the country. And thank you for what you're doing to the fabric of music. You're new to it, but you're not new to it. You know, you're a real soulful artist. Got a new project coming out, The Art of Pete.
Yes.
Coming up next Friday, you said. So looking forward to that. Got an opportunity to meet you at Track Meet 2024, which was put on by Track Society and at the Avant Media Institute, Houston, Texas. And really appreciated, you went from shy to I got something to say. So I really appreciate you and welcome. Thanks for being with us.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Man, so from the inside looking out, how do you see the artist, Mista Pete?
Artist Mista Pete, very versatile artist. Can really paint a picture with, how he puts a song together. A lot of songs, very visual, a lot of relatable music, a lot of soul within the music.
Okay. Now, was there a benchmark moment that brought you into music? Was it something to take your mind off of something else? Or how did you succumb to the attraction of the beautiful music lady?
Well, it was in 2020, right when COVID had hit. And I just got back to San Diego from Japan. And COVID had got so bad in San Diego that we stopped going to work. We were just checking in every morning, mustering through a text message through our phone. So I had a buddy of mine who I was in the Navy with. He had a home studio. He kept telling me to come by, kept telling me. After about a week straight, I finally came by. And once I came by, we just started making music and it just stuck.
Got the biggest smile on your face when you said that. It just stuck. I'm like, okay, I can understand. I mean, when I started writing, it was like that for me. It's like, I can get into this. I can get my thoughts off, Now, were you raised in the church? Because you really have that soulful, ooh-wee, Teddy Pendergrass from the chest kind of, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I was raised in the church. My dad's a pastor. He's been a pastor since before I was even born. Born into it.
Okay. So you were in the choirs and doing all that good stuff.
Choir, I played the organ and the drums for the church on multiple occasions.
Okay. And now, are you still playing instruments as well?
I still play, but for production purposes.
Okay, so you're producing your own joints.
Sir.
Okay. What's the most fun for Mista Pete about making music?
The most fun part is finally hearing the finished product. Once it's mixed and mastered and hearing what the engineer was able to do to it, that's the funnest part.
Okay. I promise you, I listened to, the older songs that you had, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, okay, we got Project Pat, we got Big Pokey, we got James Cleveland, we got all that wrapped into one, some Ike Turner, you know what I mean? That soulful, bluesy kind of thing. You brought your style from the church, or has it been influenced by the Southern style of music?
I think it's a great mixture of both. Great
Okay.
both. I went to church so much. Church is just like second nature. So I
Okay.
think I'll always be a part of who I am musically.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing for, growing up in the South,
Mm-hmm.
especially Texas, East Texas at that.
Right. And now you're from, I forgot what city you're from.
From a town called Longview, Texas.
Longview. Longview. Okay. Ain't there a university down there? Who's down there?
University of Laterno.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now, did you play sports in school, or did you just go from high
I,
school into the
I
Navy?
I didn't play sports. I went straight to the Navy right after high school. Played no sports.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm just saying because Texas is a football, you,
Right.
you know, town, state. So, uh, it's like coming from Kansas and say you didn't play basketball or football. Like, no, I didn't play none of that, or track. You know what I mean? So, I was just asking. Um, when you were studying music, now you went to Avant.
I did not.
You did not go to Avant.
Not
We
go.
just met there. Okay. Okay.
I've not
So
been.
so all your formal training was basically in the church and then in the studio practicing
That's it.
what you feel in your heart.
That's it.
You write your own music too?
I do. I do.
Okay. So what's your process? Like what sparks a song for Mista Pete?
First thing that spark it is my mood. Once my energy and my mood is there with the beat, the words tend to flow out a lot easier instead of trying to force a song to be complete. Once the vibe and the energy is right, once I hear the beat, it all flows together.
Okay. All right. And you already said the most fun part is the completion, hearing the finished product. Why isn't the process of getting it off part of the fun, the big fun?
I think in the process, um, I'm too caught up and focused on doing everything right to enjoy what's happening at the moment.
Okay.
I think it builds up step by step when I'm creating a song,
Mhm.
but get that final explosion until I hear it completely finished.
Okay. Well, everybody has their own creative process, and creatives are perfectionists. Now, you were in the Navy, so you definitely were a perfectionist. You handled your business. You're out there on the ship. The ship, you were responsible for the running of the ship. Basically, you were down in the deck in the engines, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you were working with the heartbeat and the life's blood of the ship, and a lot of people depended on you being on point. And so you brought that seriousness to the creation of the music, and it doesn't allow you to have the fun during the making of it. So, okay, now I have to ask this because it just naturally follows that if you're not having fun making the music, how do you know that the music is going to impact if you wait until the end of the masterpiece?
So, the engineer I work with, we've been working together for almost 2 years now. So I can kind of, have an idea of where I feel like the song is going to be once it's completely finished. But the rough draft of the song, it gives me a lot to go off of because
Okay.
the biggest difference between my rough draft and my actual mixes is what's really being done to the instrumental, not so much my voice.
Okay.
I still get a kind of feeling for that impact, and then I always get a few different opinions. because I feel like as artist and also as the creator myself, I can tend to be biased.
Mm,
My own music, depending on what I wrote the song about, or just how I feel about the song.
mm. Now, I know most artists listen to their songs as they're creating it 200-300 times, it with all the parts or whatever. Do you ever lay it down, walk away, come back another day with a clean, fresh palette, and just listen, or you keep going and going and going until you go, that's it?
No, I like to give it a break, give it a rest. That way I can refresh my ears. That way once I hear it again, I can hear something maybe that I didn't hear the first time that I need to tweak and fix, something that maybe doesn't need to be there. So I got to give it a break. And if not, I'll get too burnt out on it. And, I'll start zoning out while it's playing and I'm really not listening to it. I'm just hearing it at that point.
Mm, okay. Have you ever had one of the joints? So it seems like you're like emotionally detached from it. You're just doing the process, the method, and you're not really tapped into the emotion. You're dealing with the details and the nuances, right? Oh, that word will go here, that word play. So do you have like an English degree, or was there any way? Because I know I agonize over stories, and I've got degrees that are just about communication and writing. What about you when you're working it out, the lyrics, and agonizing over a comma here, or whether to put this word at the front or the end, and you're building your song structure?
A lot of it I've gotten just from listening to other songs. Because one thing I tried to start doing once I started making music was listening to music to also study it. That way I could learn things, especially from artists who I felt like we shared the same style of music. So, a lot of the knowledge I get on how I do certain things, I get from other songs, from other artists.
Okay. How do you avoid giving up the Mr. Pete persona when you're studying other people's music to create your own?
I think the difference is that most of the music I study, I don't use those type of beats. One, two, I listen to my music every day. That way I can always study my craft and perfect it. So there's not one artist I listen to more than me, just so that I don't lose who Mr. Pete is.
Good answer. I love that. I love that because others put it in different ways that they try to be more politically correct, but it really boils down to I listen to my own shit.
Right.
I listen to me, so I can stay in touch and grounded with me, the artist and the person who's creating this music. What has been like one of the highlights of supporter reaction of people who hear your music? And I know I was on you at Avant. I'm like, bro, this joint right here, I'm playing this like crazy. You know what I mean? You get a lot of that, I'm sure, of people who actually hear it and go, whoa.
I do. One of my biggest and best highlights was I had a buddy who was on the boat with me, but he was a Marine.
Mm-hmm.
He was from Shreveport, Louisiana, which is only an hour from Longview.
Mm-hmm.
And he came home one time, and this was after I had got out and I was already making music. And I met him in Shreveport, and we went to go get to a tattoo shop. We get there, and he's telling one of the tattoo artists there about my music, and I had just dropped my first album a few days before, a few weeks before,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy actually knew who I was. He was a fan of me, and I had no idea who he was. And he was
Wow.
the person I met who was a fan that I did not know. And I think the best moment about it was that I was out of state. You
That's
know,
right. Not in your hometown.
right,
You're in another whole state, somebody else's stomping ground. Went
right,
into a tattoo shop, just random. You didn't know it. and your partner is bragging on you, and the artist says, I know who you are, and I know your music, and starts naming off your joints.
Right.
I know that tickled you pink, right? Like, whoa.
Drive home that day.
Huh? You floated home?
I said, I had a good drive home.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can only imagine. I've only had that experience a couple of times with my writing, but to be somewhere totally different and say somebody says you wrote that, I'm like, damn, how you know that? How do you know that? How do you know, it's got to be energizing and took you back. Did you go right back into the studio and put something down about that experience, maybe?
I didn't put nothing down about the experience, but I definitely wrote some music that day. It had me motivated.
Okay, okay, okay. Now, are you performing around as well?
I'm not right now, but I'm looking into starting up soon since I got the EP dropping next week.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to get out there and push it. You go have to get out, and of
Right.
course, I gotta get it, right? I gotta get it. I gotta get the links and the artwork so I can go on and get in with you and do a review because I love the work. I love the work. I was just like, wow, you know. I'm like, okay. And then, somebody, one of your ex-shipmates fed me I thought they fed me misinformation. I don't know how I got that misinformation. But I was just as loud and proud, like, oh, you came out of the dark side over to this side, da 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 da. I was wrong as two left shoes and got embarrassed in public, all that. I never did that. Oh, really? Okay, I got misinformed. I don't know where I pulled that from, but wishful thinking that somebody in the army sang like that, maybe that's what it was. It was just jealousy. It was just jealousy. Anyway, so the Track Society, Track Meet 2024 Grand Master Class, the first ever track meet at Avant Media Institute, Houston, Texas, June 28th and 29th. You got invited, came through. First of all, how did you enjoy the summit?
Musically, it was from an artist perspective, it was the best event I've been to yet in my career. It was amazing. I couldn't have prepared for the information I was leaving there with.
Mm, mm. Did you have a favorite section? I know because it covered everything from financial literacy to marketing to songwriting. Was that Montina Cooper from Beyonce's The Mamas, the backup singer group for Beyonce was there, and Eferd was on the boards. I popped into that songwriting. How did you enjoy that?
Songwriting, I had the most fun in songwriting. I had the most fun there. My favorite class was marketing, though.
Really?
I had the most fun in the songwriting class.
You had the most fun in the songwriting class,
Yeah.
but your favorite class was the marketing class. Okay, okay. Now, were you able to apply immediately when walking away any of these concepts and move more confidently in that world, in the marketing world?
Yeah, yes, most definitely. Definitely the marketing world. Also the songwriting world. Since track meet, I've collabed with two other artists from track meet. And some of the things that Miss Montina taught us, I'm applying to music till now, right now. Just when I write it,
Mm,
structure my hook better, you know, things of that nature.
okay, okay. So I'm real excited uh to hear this EP and then do a comparative between the earlier works and this new work. Do you feel that there are some definitive differences?
I wouldn't say there's definitive differences, but there's definitely differences.
Mm,
But
okay.
I feel like the biggest difference is just me learning how to use my voice more as an instrument and realizing that it's an instrument and I have to be unique with it because it's the instrument that's going to stand out on the song.
Mm, okay. All right. Now, I think I saw a promo on your Instagram of the upcoming project, the artwork, I think.
Yes,
And
sir.
did you have anything to do with the artwork? Do you do the artwork too, or did you trust somebody else with it?
Me and my girlfriend made it, and that was our first time doing it. But it came out good,
Came
man.
out really good. I was like, okay, this is some pen and pixel stuff. You know what I mean? Like this is kind of dope.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to it. What are you most looking forward to from this project? What are you saying to first time listeners that you feel is giving them a really great introduction to Mr. Pete and what you stand for musically?
I feel like with this EP, it's only 4 tracks, but I feel like each track is so different from the other one that you get the widest range of who Mr. Pete is in the smallest amount of time possible.
Okay.
Like it's something on there for everybody. Oh.
Okay. You've been practicing, huh? How many mock interviews have you done since? I love it. I love it. You know, you have a captivating smile and the personality that just lights up the room. You know, you're just great person. When you walk in the room, you go, damn. And then you sit down at the speakers and listen to this young lion open his mouth and sing. You know what I mean? And put it out there. He does lyrical work plus the singing, and he's on point. I enjoy it. Now I like music in the raw, the early work. You know what I mean? Um, I think I can't remember the song that I was bragging about. I'm old, first and foremost. Um, but I'm gonna dig it out, and I'm going to include it in this story. So what I might do is wait until the song drops to push this out, so we can have a comparative
Gotcha.
and be like, here's where he was at. This is where he's at now, and but the heart I know is still there. The care for the music and
Yes.
the power. Bro, this dude's got a powerful voice.
Thank you.
You know, I love it. And you know, my favorite part of when I moved to Houston was listening to the sing-songy rappers. You know, Pokey, I like Pokey, I like Mo, you know, rest in peace. Pokey and you know, what he did on purple stuff. I'm like, oh man, he sound like a deacon on the street
Right.
corner though. You know what I mean? Uh,
Yeah.
I didn't. I like church. My grandfather was a minister for 50 years, and you know, lived in the church too. Lived, you know, like would bring blanket and pillow to church because you had the day service and night service. Night service, we had to sit through the day service, but at night we could bring the blanket and the pillow and get on the back pew and be in church. You know, it was wild, but I had the most fun with them old deacons from down south that sang like the spirituals and
Yeah.
the way they put it down, and that's what you remind me of, that power right there to wake the church up and make them lean forward and go, you know, what is he talking about? I believe in what they're saying, you know. And I listened to that joint, I got chills listening. I'm like, damn, this brother is real, you know, and that was impressive for me. Um, Not that I'm anybody to be impressed, but at my age, I've heard a lot of joints and a lot of people singing, and then you know to have someone bring me back to the roots while being relevant to the day was really cool. I remember in the movie what's love got to do with it when Ike and them and were singing in that bar and that guy got upset. That's gospel music. That is God. Have you had that reaction? Like How you bringing the church into this? Why are you doing that? Have you had that one?
I have not had that interaction yet. Not with my music, rather. I haven't had it with that.
Right. Okay. Okay. It'll happen.
I'm sure it will.
One of the remaining old heads is gonna be like, I don't really like that you did that, Junior. I don't know. You know, you that's that gospel you learned. You know that's Deacon Johnson that you did, you know, that you emulate. You put him on the well, but amazing thing. Speaking of gospel, would you ever think about collabing with a gospel artist that was kind of on that level, a real singer?
And it would be something I'll be open to. Isn't anything I've given any thought, but it's nothing I'm against. So
Mm,
definitely open to.
mm, okay. I only asked that because, growing up in the church, but making music with somebody who is not, you know, you're not of the church and they're of the church and making music, but your voices mesh so beautifully, be like real power, Anyway, it was just a thought. I just wondered if you wouldn't shy away from it if you had the opportunities, what you're saying. If they
No.
could match your energy, you know what I mean? And come with it and be like, understanding, bro. This ain't that, bro. This is us singing. This ain't that. Don't even try it. Oh, but what do you believe that Mr. Pete is going to contribute to the fabric of music moving forward?
And he's gonna contribute a lane for more artists like himself to go down. You're gonna leave a lot of knowledge for independent artists. A lot of wrongs he made in his early career so that other artists don't have to go through it.
Hmm.
He's
So you
gonna
reach out to the youngins and continue your position of leadership that you learned while serving the country, and apply those to the music industry
Yes, sir.
and see the issues and bring some solutions and share. Obviously, not only what you've learned on a personal journey and the mistakes you made, like you said, but also what you picked up at track meet, and those tidbits. Is that something that you would recommend?
The track,
Yeah,
most definitely.
for
Most
independence, especially for independence.
especially. And so for independent artists, it's so much information out there for us, but it's
Mhm.
also so much wrong information. And so, it's kind of good to have somewhere you can go sit down, you know, get a certain instructor for each subject within the music industry. It was set up so nicely and constructed so well. It was easy to understand, easy to get the info you needed. I would definitely recommend it.
And obviously, you made some great connections. Everybody was there to learn and participate. Well, nobody really like standoffish and all that stuff. Might have been nervous on the first day, walking in, meeting a bunch of new people. But when you realize that everybody was serious minded, like you were, and they came from all over the country, even the volunteers came from all over the country, to participate and give to this independent music summit. It was an amazing event. I
It
was
was,
really proud to participate, and I'm glad that I got a chance to meet you, and that Sabea said you're gonna like him, and the fact that you're a veteran and were willing to sacrifice for the country, your time and your life if necessary. You made that commitment, and you're bringing that commitment to music and the future of music and those that are coming up behind you to see their success. Um, salute again. You know what I mean? Um, I know we're enlisted and we don't really salute each other, but as a man to man, it's a salute. Of respect for your outlook and your efforts. What do you think would be the most important thing you would want people to know about Mr. Pete, the person?
Mr. Pete the person. Um, I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. try to put out the same energy I want to receive back. I try to stay as humble as possible because as people, we all need to, you know. My mother used to tell me when I was little, she drank coffee, said, if I could put my finger in the coffee cup and the hole remains, that's the day I'm greater than somebody else.
I never heard that one.
My mother's full of sayings. I think that's another reason I'm great with the music. Uh,
Bro, that was dope. Give us another one. Hold up.
so she always tells me, you know, whenever I'm dealing with anybody that, you know, I'm working with, or maybe somebody's trying to, you know, work against me, she always tells me work from the angle that they are as smart as me or smarter than me.
Mm,
Never
okay. I love that. You know, I normally don't disagree with anybody's mom. I'm not a fan of the word humble. And the reason is we don't owe anyone the opportunity to be comfortable with our achievements because we worked for those achievements. If they're comfortable with it or not, too bad. Don't care. To me, humble is a social construct, and grateful. I always remain grateful. And I'm not trying to go against your mom. I wouldn't dare do that. But I've just, in this industry, I've learned that being grateful will present the same attitude and demeanor as those who would call it humble, you know, without giving up the power and recognizing your own achievements. Humble gives us an opening to have the imposter syndrome. When you've worked through, you've put work clothes on your dreams and actually did the work and earned the spots. And, you know, if you, you know, mentally strip yourself naked and then add on your achievements, you know, sock, drawers, pants, shoe, shirt, until you get to the crown. You know, you worked for that. So I would not fall into the trap of being humble. I would always be grateful. And that's me, not to go against your mom.
That's well put. I like how you put that.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I thank you so much. I didn't want to offend you. I was like, oh God, you can't be talking about folks, you know, disagreeing with folks' mothers and stuff. But I just feel like, you know, you really are an established human being. And as a service member, you have earned your place. You have the right to do what you're doing. And as you've achieved, you know, you learn to play drums and, you know, you said keyboards as well?
Sir, organ and piano.
Organ and piano. Can you play that organ?
I can. I can.
Uh-oh.
My pop is also a musician. So
Okay. So you came up, okay, on the music side, hearing how song structure and ad libs on the sonic ad libs and all that was supposed to go. And then, of course, singing in the church, big
right.
voices, the vocal ad libs and how to punch in when you need to and draw some emotion and really connect. But that's why earlier when you said you like detach and you just go through the process of going, well, how do you connect the emotion with dissociative disorder that we as veterans come on with all the time? I'm like, how does that work, bro? Like, but I could see that it's just built into you. And so you already know, you know, like you're writing Mary Had a Little Lamb, you know the whole story, you know how it goes. And now you're just putting a unique spin on it, the Mr. Pete spin on. So I mean, I'm really excited about the art of Pete. I'm really excited to hear, and we're going to do that comparative. Oh, was it talking? talking I belong here. It was something. I'm gonna figure that. I'm old, and I'm not doing this with any notes, y'all. I'm really talking to this young man from memory, and having sat with him and listened to him, in a conversation. And I apologize that the journalistic part is not there, but he hit me so hard as a human being that that's the way I wanted the conversation to go, not as an interview, but as a conversation with a friend that I met. We're talking about, this music, and my memory at my superannuated age will slip from time to time. But there was, oh, I belong here. Is that your song?
No, so I don't have one called I Belong Here.
Oh,
Now I do remember you telling me at the track meet that you liked the song I had called Thesis Statement.
that's what it was. Thesis statement. Thesis statement. Thesis statement. Yes. Yes. It's the same thing though. When you think about it, thesis. But and you was talking slick.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I was my thought process was there. The understanding of the message was there. But thesis statement was the joint. Y'all should hear that. And we're gonna pop that into this interview as we discuss the journey. You know, what has been the biggest surprise about the business element of the music business for you?
How expensive it is.
Indeed.
See what it is, how expensive it is. I had
Mhm.
no idea when I first started making music to, release it to the public, how expensive it was to operate as an artist in today's music industry.
Mhm. And so when you went to that financial literacy class, you learn how to protect your money. And you
Yes, sir.
and get that investment back,
Right.
right? You know what I mean? Did you find that helpful?
I did. I definitely did. That's like,
Okay.
gave us a lot of insight to things we would have any clue about. That's probably the last thing I ever hear an independent artist talk about.
Is
And
the finances and taxes and stuff,
right,
huh? Yeah. Hey, but if you get Wesley Snipes, you'll want to have them conversations.
right,
You know what I mean? No disrespect to Mr. Snipes, but you know, that tax situation, it cost him a lot. Brilliant man, and the team failures, but you hire them, so you have to take responsibility for the people that you hired by not managing it and not knowing. And so one of the things I picked up moving from class to class in an overall review is that it's important for you to know the nuts and bolts of this business,
yes, sir.
not just the creation of the art, but knowing at least the basics. You may not know every detail and how to execute it, but to be more confident and be more mentally relaxed to protect your mental health, knowing the basic nuts and bolts and how things, the basic concepts of how things should go. And you can overwatch your team members as you advance and have to add on help. You know what I mean? Um, right now, you've got a solid partner that sat down and helped you create this artwork, which is really good, by the way. You should check out. Matter of fact, let's give them your social media while we're at it.
Mista Pete 903 on Instagram. That's MistaPete 903 at Instagram. You can find me on there. You can find me on all streaming platforms. Mista Pete, that's Mista space Pete on all
Yeah.
streaming platforms.
Go check out that thesis statement, and you'll get to understand what had me so excited that I chased the young man down. Like, this song right here, brother, got me. You know what I mean? Thank you for reminding me of the title. And the new one is The Art of Pete, and it's due out next Friday. I don't know what date next Friday is. Don't ask me.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. See? Okay. You know how I know? I think my wife is going to Vegas. I don't know if that's lucky or not, damn it. On that day. So, anyway, I really appreciate, brother, is there anything you wanted to cover that I may have neglected?
There is, and this has been a great conversation. I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay, well, thank you so much. That's a huge compliment to me that you didn't say this has been a great interview. You said it's a great conversation. That is a compliment. I appreciate that you feel comfortable, and we got to do it again after, so we could do a song by song review of this 4-song EP after I've had a chance to go through it, and then we could talk about really if I'm going to continue to believe that you're emotionally detached and disassociate yourself during the creation process of this joint, because I know it's going to, make the hairs rise on the arm. Like, damn, go ahead, bro. And it's going to be something that we're going to be excited to champion. And you got a friend here, brother. A media partner, media friend, whenever you need. You got something to say, you want to talk about it? If you got a new project, that's coming up, something you're excited about, or opportunity, tours, new shows, whatever, just hit me and let's let them know. You know what I mean? I'm happy to help.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
I appreciate you. All right, man. Mista Pete on all social media, MistaPete, space on the right places. On Instagram, it's all together.
All right, with the 903 at the end.
With the 903. Yeah, Mista Pete 903. Check him out. Join the conversation on Instagram. You'll be able to also tap in after we get through with this joint. I might have to drop this early, actually, because we already said that it's coming next Friday. So I might have to go on and drop it. But we're going to come back and talk about it after it drops. We're going to do a 4-song breakdown. And I know that it's going to be a journey which Mista Pete deposits us safely at the end of and has us leaning forward for more. Real music lovers, I believe, will appreciate what he's putting down and the care and the personality. Real genuine person. This is not fake. This is the way he was walking the halls during track meet 2024. I was watching him from afar. The smile, the interest, the personable attitude is just genuine. It's real good people. So, and it comes across, although he talks slick in that music, though, he let them know in thesis statement, for real, like, and if you don't know, now you know. All right, until next time, Mista Pete, Night Magazine Live Sessions, we're out.
Thank you.
As an artist, we should reflect the time.
Why you so talented?
Cause I'm black.
Why you so amazing?
Cause I'm black.
Really important that we build characters so that people understand their story matters.
2 Chainz and I both are just really into good food.
And when you know you are royalty, you will only aim in life to be royalty.
We're doing it right now. I don't give a damn what they say about me. Yes, I called your ass out. I know I shouldn't be saying this kind of.
Shout out the Hype Magazine Network.
Shout out to the Hype Magazine Network.